sans dire à tout.
What is going on, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's a conversation you could be having during the day, but having at night. I know this isn't the usual tableau that we start the show off with, but tonight will be I'll be running this thing solo tonight because Robert has come down with every STD known to man. No, I'm just kidding. He got sick, and he actually gave me his AIDS because I was the last person with him. So no, I'm just kidding. Last week, if you guys recall, we did a pre-tape for Nocturnal Transmissions, and we were going to use that time to go and film some more episodes of Up by Up Down. And I guess Robert wasn't feeling so well that day, and I guess he was coming down with something, and you know what they say, you're the most contagious in the first couple of days when you get sick. And so since I was with him, I got sick as well, but I don't think I got hit as hard as Robert. I did have a little bit of laryngitis, so for a while I sounded like the Godfather, or actually I had dinner with James a couple of days ago, and he said that I sounded like Forrest Whitaker, which I thought it was pretty hilarious. Like, what will you become? So I'll be running this thing solo tonight. I know it won't be too much of a conversation, but if you want to help me out, please, get into that. Get into the live chat. I'll be monitoring it. So if there's a certain topic, or you want my take on something, let me know, and I will gladly answer or respond to anything that you type for me. So yes, the last couple of days I have been contending with about a laryngitis. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but it is a little bit different. It is a little off, but what are you gonna do? The show must go on, and dealing with a little bit of a sinus thing, and even though I don't have a headache, or I don't have a fever, I'm kind of sweating a little bit. I guess I can start off with what I did over the weekend. I really didn't do too much. I caught up on some editing work for the podcast. Working hard on the episode. I will admit that my enthusiasm has waned slightly. Just the constant grind of editing videos, and then also working on my photography, and applying for jobs and such and such. It's become kind of hectic for me. I'll admit. But I found a new sense of purpose, and I think going forward, I'm gonna be a little bit more on it, and producing the videos much quicker than before. Just to mention back to that dinner I had with one of the other jerks, James. we're just kind of talking about the future and the future of the podcast and and going forward. And I told him, because we have grand plans, as anybody would, have grand plans for their future and such. Uh, because I think when we started, we just wanted to kind of share our take on things. Share the kind of conversations that we would have when we don't have a camera or a microphone shoved in our face. And I think to a certain degree we have. And and I'm excited to continue and see where this may lead. I remember recently I was watching who was I watching? I was watching Philip DeFranco's channel, and if you guys aren't familiar, he's been a YouTuber from pretty much the inception of YouTube, and he has this behind the scenes vlog for his office, and he recently shared that he was actually moving into a bigger space from the one that he's currently in, and just kind of watching that, it kind of inspired me, and it gave me a little fueled me a little bit, and as I was talking with James about the future of this podcast and what do we do going forward, I just simply told him, it's like, I want that. I would like to get to the point where I can do this full time, and this could become a career for me, and and I would like to get to the point where me and the other jerks, we could afford a building, a studio of our own, so we can do these kinds of shows, doing these kind of shows the way we would want to, and and the perspective that we want to share with you guys and to share with others. So I guess you can say that I found a motivation. I found a motivation. But I guess now that I found my motivation, I have to couple that with determination. And I think even starting this channel, I think, was the first step. The first. I think that's the first step in the journey to getting to that place. Getting to that place where we have our own building, we have our own studios, and we're able to bring on more people and and provide for others in that way. And so yeah, I mean, it wasn't really it wasn't that easy to begin with, because we had grand plans for this channel, and because we want to do this right, and we were talking about getting all this equipment and so. But in the back of my mind, I was I kind of pulled on the reins a little bit, pumped the brakes, as it were, a little bit, because I didn't want us to invest in this, and then we do like a few episodes, and then we kind of lose our boners for it, and then so if we stop doing it, then we're stuck with this equipment that we bought, but we no longer use. And so I just, I told, I don't want to paint myself out to be like, I was the visionary for this channel, but but I told the guys like, hey, let's just, get some, let's just start off with, with whatever we have. I mean, luckily for us, I had a good amount of the equipment, the cameras and the laptop and software and all that kind of good stuff. And I just said, hey, let's just put something out there. Let's just get it out there. And I think that was the best thing for us. I think and it's the best move for anybody. Just get it started. Because I'm reminded of a story I heard from in a sermon where this kid, he every day he prayed, his mom would get on him about cleaning his room, and so you know he prayed to he would pray every day. He's like, oh Lord, give me the strength to clean my room. which kind of sounds ridiculous, I know, but he every day he would say, Lord, give me the strength, give me the vision, give me the wisdom to clean my room, and and you know and then finally he and I think the point of that story was like stop, you shouldn't be contingent, you shouldn't wait for something to happen or for the right circumstances or like some divine sign to say like, hey, get off your keister and just get it done. And I think that's what we did. We decided to just do it, and we decided to do it with what we have. And I'm hoping to to build this channel a little bit more, get more people, get more eyeballs, and hopefully actually get supporters. People who will will help us build this thing. Who won't be just just a fan, but they'll be a supporter. So that we can get more equipment or or better equipment. And so we can constantly keep growing this channel, this podcast. And so yeah, that got real deep real fast. But I'm kind of I'm glad that I share this with you guys. Oh, damn you, Robert. See, I told you guys, it's always Robert's fault. It's always Robert's fault. Yeah, we went pretty deep, pretty fast, but I'm glad I got to share with you guys a little bit of the origin story for this podcast and for this channel. And I hope we'll be able to get go in a little bit deeper about us as well. Other things that I did this past weekend, not a whole lot, just a lot of just some family time. Just spending time with my parents and my sister. Is that it? What was it? I actually made some really dope, delicious ass cornbread, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's actually funny because on Wednesday I had made Wednesday. Wednesday. Wednesday, I made a batch of cornbread because uh, my sister wanted to make this corn chowder. She thought that she wanted to serve this corn chowder for dinner, and she thought that cornbread would be a good side dish. And so she asked me to make the cornbread, and so I did, and it went over like gangbusters. My parents absolutely loved it. My sister loved it. And so over the weekend, my my parents wanted me to make some more cornbread, and so I did. But the first cornbread that I made was uh, kind of a regular cornbread, but with jalapeno. But this past Saturday, I kicked it up a notch. I took it to that God level cornbread, and I added some bacon and jalapeno and cheese. And boy, oh boy, was it delicious! Oh man. Um, Luckily, I made two loaves or two batches because that first one went pretty damn quick. I have to say. Um, my parents, my sister, even me. I wasn't, we were inhaling it. It was just like it was like so good, so good. And so and oh god, man, just thinking about that cornbread again. Man, I really wish we had some chili though. That would have been perfect. I mean, yes, we had some leftover corn chowder, but yeah, chili. Mm. Um, Other than that, what else? Me and James and a bunch of other homies, we went to go watch the new Pacific Rim movie. And it was it was entertaining. Um, there was a twist there that there was a twist in there that I did not see coming. And I'll leave it at that. And there was obviously kind of like the distraction to like make you think one thing and then but they played it very well. And I think the twist was a good was they did a good job in surprising the audience. I think. Um, I watched it in one of those Adobe Atmos theaters, and at first I was a little turned off because I have Movie Pass, and oh man, Movie Pass is great. I can't say enough good things about Movie Pass, although it did crap out on me one time at a theater. And it sucked because I was meeting some friends, and I was using the app fine up until I got to the theater, and it kicked me off, and then I wasn't able to log back into the account, and my friends were already inside, and so I was like crap, and so yeah, I had to pay for a ticket out of my pocket, even though I already paid for the app, so it was kind of like kind of like a double whammy. Um, But other than that, $10 a month, one movie every single day. That's one hell of a bargain, and I guess the only restrictions is no IMAX and no IMAX 3D. And I thought that there was no Adobe Atmos either, but this past Sunday, I guess they made some sort of exception because Pacific Rim, and you had like all those big monsters, and when they roared, I guess they really wanted you to feel it, and so you know So I use my app, but then they say, oh no, it's the Dolby Atmos, so you gotta pay you gotta pay $4 more. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? That's dumb. I already paid for my movie. Why do I have to pay for this, extra thing that I didn't even know, that I thought that we weren't even allowed to have, But now you're gonna make this exception, but you're gonna make me pay out the difference out of my own pocket. It's I know you might be saying, it's like, oh, you're complaining about $4. It's like, yeah, but it's kind of it's one of those principle things where you sign up for a service and they give you the conditions where it's like, all right, this, and this. Cool, I completely agree. So then, but then for like this one thing, this one time, or whatever, they allow for it for you to have this thing. But then, they change the conditions where it's like, okay, well, then you have to pay for it out of your pocket, the difference or whatever. And I think that is what I can't really abide. Sorry about that. I guess since it was like a one-time thing, I guess I'll let it go. But I guess, I mean, if it happens again, then I'll be pissed because what is it? Because I guess what also kind of bothered me now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more is like usually this on the Movie Pass app, it'll say like if it's or it won't like the showing times for the IMAX or the IMAX 3D won't even be available to the Movie Pass user. It'll just be like it won't be highlighted. And I think usually like the Adobe Atmos, that's not highlighted as well. And so they don't even like when I looked up the time for the movie, like they didn't even say that it was Adobe Atmos. Until I got to the movie theater and they're like, oh yeah, it's Adobe Atmos, so you have to pay, you have to pay $4 more. And so it's one of those, I don't mind if something changes, but I would like to have some. I would like to, be notified or given the heads up. That's all I'm looking for. And because on the app itself, it didn't say that it was Adobe Atmos, and I think that's what I'm like my biggest bone of contention. Like, they didn't even let us know on the app that it was Adobe Atmos, and that and that because they're gonna allow this thing that there's